Riyadh. I mean, my first experience with Saudi Arabia was in 2009 or 10. No, 2010 I think I came for just the Umrah. That was tourism for us. And then after that I hadn't been, right? So it's been about 10 years. But when I went this trip, we participated not only in that future investment initiative, but we actually got to experience something called Riyadh Season. So there was like concerts being held, and I know some people, I don't know, with your tourism question. True.
There is also a misconception about Saudi Arabia. I mean now, thank you. Tourism have been opened up, and the ability to obtain a tourism visa has been drastically reduced. But as important, there is a general size. It's a big country, 2 million square meters, and you have all kind of different areas. You have mountains, you have beaches, you have desert, of course. You have semi-tropical environment. So, as a tourist destination, it's very extremely unique. I know something that is extremely interesting. Thank you to the Indian movie industry. So there was a love story in the old days, Qais wa Layla, I don't know, and there was a Bollywood movie about it. Most of the Indian community in Saudi Arabia, they go visit this small village, which I as a Saudi never recognized. Because of Bollywood and because of, again, it's the perception. It's the perception.
As a citizen, not as an official spokesperson, but kindly you're asking as a citizen, because you're not representing a kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Sir, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Chari SNB, research scientist, entrepreneurial opportunity looking for from Saudi, if it is possible, like a government association support for creating green chemistry industrial clusters. We are innovating in India, recognized by Government of India, would like to reach other countries, provided that we get opportunity for tax benefit and grants and human resource. Then we can establish and associate with minimum 500 of your young Saudi Arabians.
Government supported. The process right now versus that time is much easier. And I think this is the most important thing. This is why I say, as a Saudi citizen, this is the new Saudi Arabia, is to recognize that one day our oil will run out, and to face this reality and start changing is very critical. To move our economy from an oil-based economy to a multi-based economy, multi-activity-based economy, to open up our society.
State Council and Chairman of TMI Group to please hand over green certificate, please.
In India and Saudi Arabia, more than 2 lakh Indians have worked in Saudi Arabia, and their remittances to India has been one of a great source of strength. So we want to first thank Saudi Arabia and giving them an opportunity to work, earn, and also prosper. So I want to thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity for Indians across the board. But there are many things India is grateful to Saudi Arabia. The oil story, all of you know, India is one of the largest, India's largest supply of oil comes from Saudi Arabia, and also hydrocarbons is a very large supplier. People from India go on Hajj pilgrimage every year to Mecca, and Saudi Arabia is a wonderful host for our people every year. So I think what I want to say, to cut short my speech, is that we would like to hear from him. From our standpoint, we believe Saudi Arabia is a very important stakeholder in India's progress. I think all of us know that if there is one country which can influence Pakistan in any of the relationship with India, it's Saudi Arabia. So I, on behalf of all of us again, I welcome him and his team from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and many of the guests who have come here, the media, many of you here. I want to again warmly welcome you, and I'm going to request our chief guest, His Excellency, to speak a few words, and then we have Mr. Murali Krishna Reddy, our co-chair. I've requested him to moderate an interactive session with you. Thank you so much.
I want to apologize for coming a little bit late, and it was because of the traffic. But I thank you very much for your patience and anticipation of my participation along with my colleagues from the embassy. It is always great to be in Hyderabad. for so many reasons. One, we have so many friends here, and two, as you know, there is an ancient old cultural relations between our two peoples. I thank you very much for such a wonderful gift, and I would like to say that 7 years ago when I arrived to India, Fiqi in Delhi presented me something similar. So I assume that the trees have grown by now, and they added 6 trees to them. So it's my wish to see them before I leave. I conclude my services here as ambassador of Saudi Arabia to India. Not very soon, of course. So thank you very much. I really wanted to mention this. It gives me a pleasure to be speaking to you today, and I thank very much. In the first quarter of 2019, diverse reforms have been introduced in laws, regulations, and procedures in cooperation with more than 50 government entities and in coordination with the private sector. We have streamlined and automated administrative procedures and data sharing among different entities, making it possible for investors and entrepreneurs to start their business electronically. Trading across border is another area where the Kingdom has made important progress by reducing the time required for clearing shipments at seaports to only 24 hours and pre-arrival clearance for ocean shipping. Additionally, we also developed FASA, a one-stop shop import and export portal. The Kingdom has also implemented impactful reforms in the area of contract enforcement by allowing filing of cases, registration, referral notification, and publication of verdicts electronically. The duration of commercial court hearings has been reduced and the number of adjournments limited to a maximum of 3 days. Maximum to 3. The private sector stimulus package and execution of mega projects have also stimulated various sectors. Apart from that, the Kingdom's announcement of a part of Saudi Aramco shares for initial public offering will also allow investors to contribute to this leading company in the world and make a qualitative leap in enhancing the size of the Saudi financial market to be in line with advanced international markets, and will enhance transparency and corporate governance in line with international standards. The revenues from the sale will be directed to the Public Investment Fund to target promising investment sectors inside and outside Saudi Arabia. Another important initiative is the opening of the tourist sectors and introducing tourist visa to achieve the objectives of the Kingdom's Vision 2030 as one of the catalysts of economic growth to attract and diversify investment in this very promising sector. And in order to build a new, modern economy and ensure economic prosperity for generation to come, the government is also implementing vision realization programs such as housing program, quality life program, Hajj and Umrah program, and the National Transformation Program. These programs will continue to be in focus in financial year 2020 as well. Budget for mega projects such as King Salman Park, Green Riyadh, Riyadh Sports Boulevard, Red Sea project, and the area is also expected to double in 2020. Special mention goes to Green Riyadh, one of the world's largest urban greening projects with the planting of 7.5 million trees. The Green cover in the Saudi capital will increase from 1.5% to 9.1% of the total area. The per capita green space availability will thus increase to nearly thrice of WHO's recommendation. The project will help reduce average ambient temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. Friends, balancing economic development with the integrity of the environment and the sustainability of resources is a major objective of Vision 2030. The Kingdom has adopted the National Strategy for the Environment, which includes 64 initiatives. To share a small example, the Kingdom currently operates the largest carbon capture and utilization plant in the world, turning 500,000 tons of CO2 annually into products such as fertilizers and methanol. We also operate one of the region's most advanced CO2 enhanced oil recovery plants that captures and stores 800,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually. We also plan to deploy additional carbon capture, utilization, and storage facilities across the Kingdom.
Thank you so much for coming here this afternoon and addressing FICCI Telangana. As you have rightly and comprehensively covered what's happening in Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going through transformational changes, and India is fast emerging as a $5 trillion economy as envisioned by our Prime Minister. We have had historic cultural relations. We have enjoyed excellent relationship with Saudi Arabia in terms of providing employment opportunities for our people, and also as custodian of the holy places, our people have been visiting, and you have been very kind to our people. We're grateful for that. Now we see Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia emerging as an investment destination. India is looking for opportunities in Saudi, and Saudi Arabia is also looking for opportunities to invest in strategic areas. And both the leaders of your country and our country have set the vision. In this context, I would like to ask you, what is it that attracts India to you at this juncture more than what it has been all these years and days, Your Excellency?
Well, thank you very much for this very important question, but there are so many things that attract Indian to us today, as it did in the past actually. What we offer today to India and other investors from around the world is a very competitive opportunities in the kingdom in terms of the cost of starting up businesses, in terms of the availability of very advanced logistics, whether in our seaports that we have so many, and in different parts of the kingdom, and on the eastern coast and in the west coast, and also the very advanced transportation system that we have, including a modern railway networks across the kingdom, and also the very efficient reforms that we are doing in our country and in all sectors, including
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the information shared, the kind of a transformation is going on. My name is Diwakar Singh. I run IT services from predominantly into digital services. On the World Tourism Day, King announced the relaxation for 49 countries and the visa waivers and other things, including China. What is your stand towards India? And India is a tourism destination for you. You're looking at 100 million visitors by 2030. What is the role of India you're looking in that direction?
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you. This is a very good question. And let me assure you that India is one of the most important. We would like to attract Indian tourists. We would like them to come and see our country. And believe me, I check on a daily basis on how many tourist visas have been given to our Indian friends to visit the kingdom since we started the tourist visa a few weeks ago. And yes, there were certain countries that they can get visa online, or in some cases upon arrival. It's a process that depends on the arrangements bilaterally between these countries and Saudi Arabia, and probably they offer the same to Saudi tourists and so on. In the case of India and Saudi Arabia, let me remind you that millions of people go to Saudi Arabia, and I mean it, every year. According to our statistics, over the last 3-4 years, the average of visa given to Indian nationals is 1.2 million visa. And of course, as you know, many of them go for Umrah and Hajj, and hundreds of thousands go for other purposes, like business visits and so on. We've tried here to our best to make the process very simple, very clear, and very quick. One of the very good things that we do here in Delhi or in Bombay at the consulate is that the visa application gets processed in less than 24 hours in our embassy, particularly in Delhi, and we look forward even to making it easier. Remember that Umrah visa now is done online, Hajj visa is done online, and I look to the moment when we see also tourist visa and business visa can be done online for our Indian friends. I hope that we can reach a point where we can have also tourist visa online or upon arrival. I get your point, and I'll do my best to make it easier and simplify it and make it available in cooperation with the Indian authorities. Thank you very much. And of course, the center area.
The next question will be asked by Ms. Sona Chitwani, chairperson of FICCI Ladies Organization.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Hyderabad. So is there a plan to empower women politically as leaders, as informed voters, or even as active citizens, so that they are in a better position to take control of their economic views?
Thank you, Sonia, for this question. And we've started reforming our regulations and procedures and regarding participation of women in public life, generally speaking, and government and so on. And of course, under Vision 2030, we introduced very progressive reforms and empowerments for enabling women actually to play the role they aspire to play in the affairs of their country, in the public sector and in the private sector. Let me say something that Saudi women are great achievers. They are very well educated. We have so many scholars and achievers among them. We have so many leaders among them. And to give you just an example of the excellent participation and opportunities that are available for them is that nearly 30% of our students who study abroad on scholarship provided by the government are female. We have nearly 100,000 Saudi students, and they earn these positions based on their merits, based on their grades. They perform well and better than boys in our universities, and their numbers are larger than our boys in our universities. Now you see Saudi women leading. The stock market of Saudi Arabia is chaired by a Saudi lady. You find them as CEOs of banks. You find them in our different ministries. And I always say to my Indian friends, is the moment you land in Saudi Arabia, the first good impression you will see is that you will be admitted by Saudi females at our passport counters, and also you will be guided and helped when you move in our airports by Saudi girls. When you go to the city or interact with hotels or government agencies, you will find, if you call by phone, the one who's answering you on the other end of the line is a Saudi female. We are so proud of them, and we are so happy about the role they play in the leadership of their economy and their society, and they have been there, and they have taken the opportunities available for them in a wonderful manner. They are excelling, and you will see more Saudi women leading in many aspects of the as administration and society. Let me also share with you that we have now a wonderful ambassador in Washington, D.C., Princess Rima, first Saudi ambassador ever. We have some female diplomats, including in our embassy in Delhi for the first time ever. And the opportunities are there, and there will be more for them. They earned it, they deserve it, they are wonderful, and they deserve our thanks and appreciation.
Thank you. Next question, please. Give the mic there. Last.
I run a business in Hyderabad and I do trade with Saudi Arabia. I have a couple of questions. Are Indian women allowed to do business, to get a business visa in Saudi Arabia? And the second one is, there is not much of clarity on the export customs duty and the SABR and SASO regulations, because most of the literature in the websites is in Arabic, and even though we translate it, the PDFs are not translatable. So we took a help of a translator to initiate our first export. So is there anywhere where we can get access to such information, sir?
Yes. Well, I thank you very much for the comments you made about the availability of information regarding export to Saudi Arabia. I think this is a very important point, and I appreciate you sharing this point with me, because what I'm going to do is to emphasize what I've said before, that we have to have always an updated information about doing business in Saudi Arabia and about exports regulations and so on. I believe they do have a very good websites, like the Ministry of Commerce and Investment, and also the Chamber of Commerce and so on. But I will bring this up to their attention and make sure that we do have the information in Arabic and also in English, because people who don't understand Arabic and who live outside Saudi Arabia, most likely they will be looking for information in English. So I thank you very much for this point. I promise you I'll take it up and make sure that it is looked at and fixed if it needs be. Regarding women going to Saudi Arabia, the business visa rules actually does not distinguish between women and men, but we will be so happy to address any particular issue if there's specific case you're referring to. We will make the information on getting visa from the Saudi Embassy and Consulate in Bombay, and especially for Indian women, very transparent and clear and available. And if we can be of help at any point, I'll be so happy to extend my help. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Last question, please. Last question. Propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir.
This event. Thank you once again, and I request the delegates to join us for lunch. Thank you.
V3 న్యూస్ లక్ష్యం సమాజ హితం.